We go, ready for the main event of Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports Thursday night fight series, brought to you by CES Boxing and Twin River Casino. Here in the red corner, Joseph Chip Perez, 25 years old, from East Hartford, Connecticut, 9-1 with 3 knockouts, sporting the gray trunks with the black trim. His opponent, CHAZZ Magnificent McDowell, coming out of the blue corner, wearing the green trunks, from Yonkers, New York, 6-2, 1 knockout. Started his career 5-0, 1-2 in his last 3 fights.
CHAZZ coming out firing that jab at him. Joseph seems to be wanting to take center of the ring.
This is a fight that's been brewing for a while between these two fighters. Apparently it started off with CHAZZ calling out Chip Perez, then says McDowell is slick, but doesn't impress Chip at all. So we'll see if McDowell has anything to impress Chip with here, catch him by surprise.
And that led right up to the weigh-ins yesterday as well.
The two boxers here, as Perez has 3 knockouts and 9 wins, and McDowell has 1 knockout and 6 wins, so combined 15 wins, only 4 knockouts.
Nice jab to the body. Both guys coming out just firing jabs, trying to get their timing down.
McDowell scored a knockout in his very first professional fight back in January of 2010 against Alex Cooper. It's been all decisions since then. Chip Perez has won his last 4 fights. His only loss was a disqualification against Esteban Nicole. So Perez at 9-1 has never lost by knockout or decision, only by disqualification.
Good, nice left hook. Nice right hand to the body. Perez just it kind of seems like he's trying to just stalk him down. Hasn't really thrown any significant punches yet. Oh, this is the first overhand, right? Perez being really patient in the center of the ring. But CHAZZ is firing that jab. He's got a very fast laser of a jab.
I know 30 seconds to go here in round number 1. A lot of jabs and feeling out going on here, Greg. In an 8-round fight, really no sense to come out and fire. And as I say that, the last 30 seconds, both fighters trying to steal the last half minute.
Exactly, like we talked about before, finish strong, and you know, you got to be up on the scorecards. Good round by both guys. Perez he seems kind of content with just stalking him around the ring and trying to cut him off. Both guys kind of feeling each other out for this first round.
You're pulling back. Stop pulling back. No, take it off. Okay. Stop pulling back on your jab. Breathe. You know what he means? You know what he means? Come in with it. Right. That's right. Right. Step into it. Step into it. And double it up. Double it up. Don't feint. And every now and then. Hold on one second. And every now and then feint, all right? Throw a feint so he don't time it. Like he's gonna try to time it, all right? So just keep doubling.
Excellent advice from CHAZZ's corner. He's saying start to throw feints, you know, see what his reaction is so you can start timing those combinations. He wants him to double up on that jab and fire that right hand.
Find your distance. You're too far away. Find your distance. Slip, move, bang, 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 and get out of there. That's it. Keep sticking him with the jab. You understand what I'm saying? Keep sticking. Doing a beautiful job.
So they're saying that he's sticking him with that jab, but he wants him to start firing right hands behind that one and start closing that distance. But also, you know, once you land that combination, you got to get out. Perez, you know, he seems to stalk and he likes to counter, and he throws, you know, 3-4 punch combinations that are pretty heavy.
CHAZZ started out round 1 as the more active fighter. Chip picked it up more towards the end. There you go. CHAZZ trying to do a 2-punch jab to start out combination, and Perez literally runs him into the corner.
And CHAZZ goes right back to that jab. And Perez is still moving forward, trying to stalk him. Nice jab to the body. And CHAZZ is staying loose on the outside.
Chip Perez's last fight was in July of 2012, a 4th round knockout over 2-8 Johnny Frazier. This is his first fight ever at Twin River. He's made his home at Mohegan Casino, where he's 6-0.
A nice jab again by CHAZZ. He keeps firing that thing out. He's staying really busy with that jab. And Perez is still stalking, moving forward, looking for that right opportunity to land that combination. Nice 1-2 by CHAZZ.
Ooh, really nice jab there by CHAZZ. He jerked Perez's head back. And interesting, McDowell said that Chip is a slugger. He's not really a boxer. And right now, Chip doesn't look like he's ready to slug this out.
CHAZZ is doing a good job of staying on the outside. He's dancing around, he's angling, he's circling, and he keeps firing that jab. He hasn't thrown, any crazy right hands yet, but he just keeps sticking with that jab and moving around. Kind of, he's trying to gain points and just steal rounds.
Final minute here of round number 2 of a scheduled 8. That was really setting the pace of this fight with that jab.
Nice 1-2 by CHAZZ. Starting to fire that right hand a little bit more towards the end of this round. As we're coming to the close of the second round, CHAZZ is doing a good job, keeping him in the outside with that jab and circling off. He's not allowing the Perez to land any combinations in the inside. That's 2 rounds in the books here in the main event.
Neither fighter really stealing the show here, Greg.
Both guys are kind of playing. The first couple of rounds, we have 8 rounds, 6 rounds to go. So the first couple of rounds, these guys are kind of, just feeling each other out. CHAZZ is doing a really good job at, staying to the outside and utilizing that jab. Perez just kind of seems like he's trying to stalk him down, cut the ring off, to land those big shots. So we saw a couple of flurries, where he landed big combinations.
Family owned and operated for more than half a century. Twins Pizza in North Providence offers world-class pizza, family specials, meals, seafood.
Trainer right now for Chip, Greg saying that he's a little stiff right now, and Chip agreed that he's throwing his jabs pretty stiff.
He's a little bit tense, his shoulders are a little tense. He's trying to tell him to loosen up, Get a little bit loose, and you're going to land your shots a lot more.
You're ready for round number 3 in this USA New England Super Featherweight title bout between Joseph Chip Perez and the gray shorts.
And now you can see the Perez is coming out. He's starting to move his arms and his shoulders a little bit more. He's starting to throw a little bit of feints. Good, nice right hand over the top. It's a good 3-punch combination.
And there's that brawler mentality that McDowell called Perez out on.
But Perez is starting to move around a little bit more. He's starting to loosen up a little bit. Nice left hand to the body. Another left hand to the body. Doubles up on that. But he's starting to be a little bit more aggressive. Nice jab of the body. CHAZZ has got a really fast jab. He's going to start using that again like he did in the first second round.
Two minutes to go here in round number 3 between McDowell and Perez.
Yeah, Perez is trying to get down into the inside. He's starting, landing that right hand to the body. CHAZZ doing an excellent job. So he circles and stays, keeps his back off those ropes. Nice 1-2 combination.
Big punch there by McDowell, and Perez almost looked like it excited him, was ready to come back with another punch.
It's made him a little bit more aggressive. He's trying to get into this fight. But CHAZZ is doing an excellent job of keeping his back off those ropes. He keeps circling, keeps circling. You know, he lands his jab, he lands a 1-2, and then he circles out. So, you know, it's tough for Perez, you know, to get to that distance where he can throw his shots.
Thing Perez is doing well is keeping the fight towards the center of the ring. Final minute in round number 3.
Excellent. Right back to that jab from CHAZZ. Keeps circling up. He's making it very difficult for Perez to kind of stalk him down.
And kind of the way we expected this fight to start, Greg, with only 4 knockouts in 15 combined wins for these two fighters. We kind of expected a slow start that would pick up towards the middle round. And this round right now, probably the most action in the fight we've seen so far.
Exactly. We still have 5 to go, so there's plenty of time in this fight.
You see the Joey Lupino threatening to take a point away from Chip if he does that again. It's like a low blow there.
Yeah, when they came into the clinch.
You're in charge.
Let's see what the corner here from McDowell has to say.
Don't get lazy out there. You're getting a little lazy. Okay, relax. All right, how you feeling? You all right? Keep doing what you're doing. Don't lose your speed, all right? Don't lose your speed on you.
CHAZZ's corner is pretty much telling him, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, don't change that pace. Keep using that jab. Keep dancing around the outside. He's, you know, he's having success with doing that. If he keeps angling and keeping his back off the ropes and he can keep landing those shots, he's going to keep winning these rounds. And then when he starts to throw that 1-2 after he keeps, you know, he keeps jabbing, he throws a 1-2 now and again, and he keeps circling out. He's getting Perez to kind of, you know, he's getting mad. He starts to become the aggressor, but he's, you know, his CHAZZ's footwork is keeping him out of that range.
You can hear the corner there from McDowell saying, "That's your belt." It's on the line here, Greg, and those first 3 rounds really could have gone either way. And you got to see when this sense of urgency is going to pick up for either fighter, when just when you have a local, regional title on the line.
CHAZZ is firing that jab away again.
So one thing that CHAZZ is doing with that jab is he may not be setting up a lot of punches, but he's keeping Perez at bay.
Oh yeah, he's very accurate and it's very fast too. And after he throws it, he gets Perez to commit, and then he circles out. And he's pretty good at counterpunch. You know, he's landing these left hooks, a couple of body shots. And Perez, it seems like again, he's just looking for those big shots. Good counter right hand. Ducked underneath the left hook, counter with the right. CHAZZ still circling out, keeping that back off the ropes, landing that jab. Good overhand right and body shot. And then again, CHAZZ just keeps circling out, making it very difficult for him to get hit. Excellent counter left hook.
Final minute and a half of round number 4. Again, of a scheduled 8 in this title bout.
Yeah, almost halfway through this bout. Yeah, Perez starts to land a couple of shots, and CHAZZ circles out, lands a counter left hook.
And these fighters finally starting to pick it up here in the center of the ring, realizing probably the urgency of this being a title fight.
Both guys trading jabs. And Perez continues to move forward, but CHAZZ is doing an excellent job of circling and keeping his back off the ropes.
Final seconds of round number 4. Again, another round that either fighter really could steal here in the last 30 seconds, Greg.
Yep, absolutely. like we talked about before. The guys that put that pressure on in the last 30 seconds, that's the last thing that the judges see. It's the most important time of the round, especially when it's up for grabs like this one. CHAZZ again continues to fire that jab.
Final seconds here of round number 4. Perez hits McDowell. It looked like it'd be a pretty good shot there, and comes back with another one. The bell sounds, and we are halfway through this main event, Greg. A tough fight to score so far. I really honestly think it could be anybody's fight.
Absolutely. But you know, I think that CHAZZ is he's scoring more points, countering, staying on the outside, keeping his back off the ropes. And you know, I'm going to say CHAZZ is up, you know, 3-1, and it possibly could be 4-0 right now.
Pop the jab, combinations. Also, when you're making a mix, you gotta make it pay. You're getting so far out of there, you can't get out of it. Keep your fucking hands up, and then you're coming out of the clinch.
Yo, let me ask you something. You want this? Then you better act like you want it. We ain't got time to take no rounds off. Understand me? None.
Yeah, CHAZZ's corner is, you know, really getting on here about staying busy. And the other thing too is coming out of the clinch. That's when Perez wants to be in that close. You know, he wants to throw those big shots when he's in close, right in the pocket. So coming out of that clinch is when he really fires away. So CHAZZ has got to be careful. He's got to keep his hands up coming out of that clinch. CHAZZ goes right back to that jab. His corner's yelling for him to be first with that jab.
It's interesting. The corner asked him if he wanted this title, and CHAZZ kind of laughed like, of course you want the title, but I think they're calling for a sense of urgency here. They want these big punches. They want him to try to take him out.
I think they want him to stay a little more busy. He's throwing that jab and he's circling out and he's staying out of danger. He's scoring points, but I think they want him, you know, they want him to stop throwing more punches as Perez is starting to put it on a little bit. I think Perez knows these first 4 rounds could have gone either way, and this fight is still up for grabs.
I got you guys. Good job. That's good job. Good job. Good job.
And Perez is still looking for that one big punch.
Yeah, you see a little more urgency out of Chip Perez in this last 2 rounds. He didn't see in the first 3 rounds, and again, maybe in an 8-round fight.
No, yeah, he definitely seems like he's trying to commit a lot more in these last couple of rounds, especially in this round. But CHAZZ's got great footwork. You know, he angles great. He keeps his back off the ropes. He's not letting Perez flurry with his punches like he wants to. But again, CHAZZ's corner wants him to start firing more shots. Good, nice right hand.
You have Chip's corner say, stay low. As soon as they tell him that, he goes back to the body.
Yep. As we're coming down to the last minute of round number 5. Again, this is another round that, you know, is up for grabs. Nice jab by Perez. Trying to close that distance.
Hey, Perez may have a cut opening up on the right eye.
Yep. I know he was complaining about it from a headbutt earlier, so I'm not sure if that has any effect. Nice left hook again. And that's what CHAZZ's corner is saying. Coming out of that clinch, coming out of that close range, you've got to keep your hands up because that's what Perez really fires off those shots. Nice overhand right.
Final 30 seconds of round number 5. And even still,
nice overhand right.
Until round 5, McDowell's been able to really control the pace of the fight with that jab, but Perez has been doing a much better job coming off of that jab.
Yeah, he keeps moving forward. He's trying to counter, but CHAZZ is just in and out of there.
Come on, enough is enough. Listen to me. You just let this man back in the fight. Now, I don't know if you're tired or not, but we ain't got time for none of that. Step shit up right here. I mean combinations. You're throwing that one punch thinking you're going to beat him with the jab. That's not going to win this fight. You understand what I'm... Look at me. That's not going to win this fight. Combinations. get under that bullshit ass right hand that he's throwing and drop combinations on him.
Stop pulling away from it. That's why it's catching you.
Yeah, excellent advice. Again, just like he did, obviously, he kind of furthermore did that between this round, but just like his advice in between the last round, he's saying you've got to start throwing that right hand a little more. He's got an excellent jab, he's doubling it up, but then he's just circling out. If he doubles that up and throws that right hand, he's gonna, he's starting to make, putting a little more damage on Perez.
Now you're going to start to wonder if the fatigue factor may be setting in for CHAZZ MCDOWELL.
Yeah, because he's been on a bicycle pretty much this whole fight. He's circling a lot as Perez is on that hunt.
And not only that, Greg, but yesterday at the weigh-ins, he missed the weight by a pound and was forced to come down into this arena and run sprints and then go shadow box just so he could lose that extra weight. And you know, being a fighter yourself, that when you do that the day of the weigh-ins, after you already weigh in, that's exhausting.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely know that. It's a huge mental statement when you come off weight and you got to cut extra weight at the weigh-in. Big punches here from Perez as CHAZZ clinches right up. And Perez knows he's really starting to put it on here in these later rounds.
And if anything, he may not be doing damage to McDowell's face, but he's definitely taking some of that gusto out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's starting to land some more shots here in round number 6.
That jab's losing a little pop there for McDowell.
Yep, he's starting to slow down a little bit. He's not circling and moving as much as he wants. But maybe he's trying to stay planted so he can throw some more combinations. There's that left hook that misses. Right hand by McDowell. And Perez is definitely putting more pressure on. And when CHAZZ slows down, Perez is allowed to land a lot more combinations on him. Good, nice 1-2. Got a right hook over the top.
What we're seeing out of Perez now, which we didn't see in the first couple rounds, is he's coming forward. Even when he's getting hit, he's coming forward. And that's why he's able to work off this jab by McDowell.
He could be feeling that McDowell's getting fatigued and his power is going down, so he's just going to try to walk right through that.
McDowell's the guy who had 1 knockout in 6 pro wins. So whether he had that power to begin with, this jab there by McDowell.
Yep. Nice hit, and then he throws a right hand behind it. That's exactly what his corner wants him to do. More and more of that. And McDowell's just stalking him down with punches.
You get like what Joey Lupino's saying here. He's letting Chip punch him as they're tied up because McDowell
he's got that right hand free too. Perez has that right hand free, which is what he's saying.
And that's what you get with Joey Lupino. Right. He's not going to miss any of that stuff.
Perez is really coming forward in this round. CHAZZ definitely looks like he's slowing down. He's not circling up those ropes as fast as he was before.
As you heard McDowell's corner say, you let him back in this fight.
Yep.
Not only do you let him back in this fight, he's letting him take over this fight and control it.
Absolutely. And with those first, 4 or 5 rounds being so close, those are up for grabs. And with Perez starting to take control of this fight and dictating the pace. Nice overhand right, followed up a lead uppercut.
2 more rounds to go, Greg. And honestly, this fight is still anybody's fight. It's up for grabs.
Excellent fight so far, and Perez really starting to turn it on in these later rounds.
Close your eyes. Come around with that right hand. Don't worry, his gloves are up. But don't stop with that. You got to come back with a hook. You got to stay in his ass, Chip. You got to show me what you want right now, Chip. Now's the time you got to dig down. Put all that fucking work and you got to get up in his ass. Pressure.
This fight right now, Greg, is Chip's fight to lose. Regardless of what it is in the scorecard, the way he's been able to land these punches in the last couple rounds, he has the momentum going in the last 2. If he keeps it up, he could potentially take McDowell out or win these next 2 rounds.
And that's what Perez's corner is calling for him. Keep putting that pressure on. Keep moving forward.
Stop being one-sided.
And, at this point, he's definitely got to be the fresher fighter, especially in that last round. You saw CHAZZ start to slow down. And Perez is coming around to the center of the ring, fired up.
Chip's ready for this one. He wants to come out guns blazing.
I expect that, he's going to come out very, very aggressive. CHAZZ going right back to that jab. But CHAZZ doesn't have that hop in his step like he did. He's a little more flat-footed in these later rounds. Not moving as much as he was.
2 more rounds to go.
Nice right hand by Perez. Yeah, CHAZZ is staying a little more stationary, not circling as much, trying to clinch a little bit more. Perez still moving very well, still a lot of head movement.
CHAZZ
Nice
still
right hand,
trying to live and die by that jab.
Ooh, good exchange by both these guys. Both were trading left hooks. Nice right hand by Perez. Going back to the body upstairs. Excellent combination. See, this is where CHAZZ does not want to be. He gets in that close quarters with him, and Perez is dangerous. Because he throws 3-4 punch combinations from the body to the head. Those level changes.
And when Chip does throw those wide right hooks, it's pretty hard for CHAZZ to come back with a jab after getting hit by one
Absolutely,
of those.
because
That's
he's got
when
to
he's
cover
forced
up.
to tie up.
And in the first, 4 or 5 rounds, that's when CHAZZ was circling out, so he's avoiding that. But now he's not moving as much. He's a little more stationary, so he's taking damage instead of circling out.
Minute 21 to go here in round number 7 of this 8-round title fight. First 8-round fight for either fighter. So right now their stamina is certainly being tested.
Absolutely, yeah. CHAZZ is definitely slowing down a little bit. He's not moving. He doesn't have that bounce in his step like he did. And Perez is trying to take advantage of that, moving forward and stalking him.
Well, what's interesting, the first few rounds, we thought that McDowell was controlling the pace of the fight.
Absolutely.
Perez may have just been laying back, waiting for this to pick up towards the end of the fight.
But CHAZZ is still firing back. Perez just waiting for that right opportunity to go in and land that big shot.
You hear the corner for Perez saying, just keep trying. You gotta wonder if they're talking about trying for that knockout punch here.
Yes, good right hand over the top, setting up behind the jab.
What's interesting is you see Chip being willing to take that jab in order to set up his right hook, but McDowell really having no answer for that right hook by Chip.
Nope.
And this fight is going to go to the 8th and final round. It's all on the line here, Greg. The USA New England Super Featherweight title between Joseph Chip Perez and CHAZZ Magnificent McDowell.
Point blank. You're getting tired on me. You got to throw combinations. I don't know how many times more I can tell you this. How many more times I got to tell you? Combination, speed. He's open for a right hand. You're not even throwing it. He's throwing that right hand and you're backing up. Get under that, motherfucker, and bang, bang, bang. That's right. Come on. Last round. You got to close the show, Chip. This kid's fucking tired. Don't worry about how you feel. Switch it up. Last round.
Well, CHAZZ's corner's yelling for him, you got to get back to that, obviously circling, but you got to throw more combinations. You got to throw more hands. You can't just rely on that jab to win this fight because it's not going to happen. Perez, his corner saying the same thing. This guy's tired. You got to move forward. You got to pressure him. You got to throw punches.
What's interesting is both corners, Greg, are more animated right now than either fighter.
They're the most animated guys of the night, yeah. Very intense in this fight.
This is it. This is for the title here.
But both these corners know this fight's up for grabs. This fight could go either way right now.
And this is tough. When you have such a close fight like this, McDowell led the early rounds, Perez led the later rounds. You never know which way the judges are going to go.
Exactly.
Especially in a close fight like this.
But that's why they always say finish strong. The judges always remember the last thing they see. But Perez, again, is getting after it. CHAZZ seems like he's circling a little bit more here. Maybe he took a little bit of a breather in that last round so he can come out a little more fresh here. He's back to that circling.
McDowell's coach wanted to follow up a combination. Still really only seeing that jab.
Yeah, that one shot. That jab or that left hook to counter. We're not seeing any of those right hands behind it that he was asking for.
Just Perez is so quick off of the jab thrown by McDowell. As soon as it hits him or if he blocks it, he comes back with a 2 or 3 punch combination. And CHAZZ is having trouble answering. Minute 40 to go in this title fight's 8th and final round.
Perez still in that hunt. Chazz is still circling a little bit better than he did in the last round, though. But again, he's just sticking with that jab.
It's only been an entertaining fight.
Absolutely.
From a fan's perspective, both these fighters throwing a lot of punches.
Yep.
And it's going to come down to the last minute here in the 8th round. And right now you can hear Chazz's corner really just pleading to give him something.
Yeah, just you can hear Perez's corner just let it go. You got to get after it. You got to finish strong in this fight, man.
It's interesting. In between rounds, Chip's corner definitely thought that they had a chance to finish it, while McDowell's corner was pleading for combinations. So you got to think that both corners almost seemed like they thought Chip was in the lead in this fight.
Absolutely. But again, he's just doing the same thing, that jab. He keeps firing that jab. Final 30 seconds of this main event, 8th round. Both guys exchanging jabs. Perez still on that stock, still being the aggressor.
Closing seconds here. Does McDowell need a Hail Mary shot here to win this fight? He's gonna let it go to the scorecards. Perez certainly wants to be the aggressor and not let McDowell get that shot. And it's gonna go to the scorecards, Greg. The final fight of the night, the title fight for the USA New England Super Featherweight title will go to the judges' scorecards. All these people here in this arena, it all comes down to 3 people's interpretation of that fight.
Excellent fight. Great job by both fighters. You know, one guy was more the aggressor, and then Chazz seemed to be more the counter striker, a guy who circles a lot. You know, that fight was up for grabs. I think Chazz, possibly could have won the first 3, maybe 4 rounds, but towards the end, I think that Perez took over.
You're gonna think that Perez probably won at least the last 4 rounds.
Yes.
And the first 2-3 rounds were definitely McDowell. It's a round or 2 in between that could go either way. It's going to be close. We could end up with a split decision here. We saw one earlier. Then again, you and I were way off on a split decision earlier.
That's why we're up here commentating here. But a great fight by both guys. Chazz came out really strong in those first 3-4 rounds. That jab was, a laser, lightning fast, and he was very accurate with it.
Chip Perez riding a 4-fight win streak. CHAZZ MCDOWELL 1-2 in his last 3, looking to get even in his last 4. Great night of boxing here, brought to you by CES and Jimmy Birchfield, Rich Capiello, the matchmaker. And you see matchmaker Rich Capiello now grabbing the belt. Still awaiting the judges to hand over the decision to ring announcer Bill Carpenter as the belt makes its way here into the ring. And you see the judges tallying up the score. Let's send it down to the ring announcer Bill Carpenter for the title fight decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we'll go to the judges' scorecards to find out who the new New England Junior Lightweight Champ will be. Judge Robin Taylor scores the bout 76-76, even. Judge Eddie Scungio scores the bout 77-75. And Judge Dr. Sam Martino has it 78-74. For your winner, by majority decision, Chip Perez.